everyone, my name is Lauren Bush and I'm the director of the product program team with the Girl Scouts of Western New York. And I'm really excited to be here today because today is my first time on Trefoil TV. So thank you so much for tuning in and for hanging out with me for a few minutes. So today we are going to be making a swap, and the swap we're going to be making is a cookie swap, and it's a pan with 6 cookies on it. And I thought that as we're talking about Girl Scout traditions, swaps are a long tradition of Girl Scouts. And I also thought it was a really great time to make a cookie swap because we are just wrapping up the cookie program. And this cookie program definitely had a lot of challenges, and all of our Girl Scouts did an amazing job, and they showed perseverance and courage and compassion. So this is a really great way to document the cookie program this year and possibly share this with somebody else. All right, so if many of you already know what a swap is, you've done swaps at camp, you may have made them with your troop or at a special event, or received them or given them. But one fun fact is, because I didn't know this, a swap is actually an acronym. And it stands for Special Whatchamacallit, Affectionately Pinned Somewhere. So certainly swap is a lot easier to say than that mouthful, but I thought that that was really fun because this to me definitely is called a whatchamacallit. So a little bit about swaps. So swaps are a tradition of Girl Scouts exchanging homemade keepsakes like this one. And it started long ago when Girl Scouts and Girl Guides gather for fun games, when they gathered to make new friends. Swaps were the first exchange at the National Girl Scout Senior Roundup, which is in the 1950s and the 1960s. And it really was a way for girls, because these girls were coming from all over, to share a little bit about themselves with each other, to share maybe where they came from, what some of their favorite activities were, or their hobbies. And swaps is a great way to portray that. So historically, swaps are on a safety pin, or they're on a piece of string. And they are made to represent, again, a favorite activity, maybe somewhere that you've been, maybe something about yourself. So when you are making new friends, somebody can learn something about you. Typically swaps are maybe pinned on a shirt, or pinned on a hat, or a book bag. You may just collect them and keep them in a box, a keepsake box, or maybe create a scrapbook, but they're really just a way to collect and share those memories with other friends that you've made along your journeys throughout your Girl Scouting career. So to make the swap is really easy, so let's get to it. There's only a few things that you're going to need, and these are all things that you can that can be found right at your house, so there's no need to go purchase anything. So you're going to need something to make your pan with, which is your rectangular pan. So, whoops, sorry, I just dropped it. So I have a little piece of foam, but you can use a piece of cardboard, anything a little bit thicker, just so it's a little bit more sturdy. You're going to need some tin foil. You're going to need something to make cookies out of. So I use cardboard, but you can definitely use paper. You can decorate your cookies. You can make them out of, regular paper, white paper, and color them. So it doesn't have to be cardboard, or doesn't have to be brown. You're gonna need some scissors, a pen, some glue, and last but not least, you're going to need a safety pin to connect to your swap, so then you are ready to give it to somebody so that they can pin it somewhere. All right, so the first thing that you're going to do is that you are going to cut out your rectangular pan. Again, it could be cardboard or something a little bit heavier. You're then going to take a piece of aluminum foil, and you're just going to wrap it around your pan, and you're going to make a cookie sheet out of it. And what's really great is that you don't need tape, because aluminum foil you can kind of bend and it sticks and it's perfect. All right, so then you're gonna come up with your little cookie sheet. So for the sake of time, I already made my cookies and I just cut them out of cardboard. So I just made little circles, but you can make, if you're creative, you can make a caramel delight or a thin mints, whichever kind of cookie you would like. And then after you make them, you are going to glue them to your pan. All right, so again, mine are cut, so I'm just going to glue them right here on my pan. All right, I got 2 more. All right, and then I'm just gonna make some little dots inside my cookies, so they're chocolate chip cookies. Perfect, and then this is what it will look like. Whoop, if it sticks. Probably let your glue dry a little bit first. And then last but not least, you are going to use a safety pin to attach to your swap. So then you're able to pin it to a shirt or a hat. I would recommend that you ask an adult to help you with this, just because you don't want to stick your finger, you don't want to prick your finger. So ask an adult if they're available, or you can use string, so you don't have to use a safety pin if you don't have it. And you are done. This is what your swap looks like. So a little bit of history about Girl Scouts selling cookies is that Girl Scouts have been selling cookies for over 100 years. So from 1917, 5 years after Juliette Gordon Low started Girl Scouts, girls have been baking cookies in their kitchens with their mothers or their caregivers, and they've been selling them. Cookies originally started selling for anywhere from 25 to 30 cents a dozen of homemade cookies that, again, parents, girls were making with their families right in their kitchen. And those funds were used, just like they are today, to do really fun things with their troop. Girls wanted to go outdoors. They wanted to do things. They wanted to help their community. And for over 100 years, girls have been doing that. They have been helping the community. They've been doing fun things with their troop. They've been doing activities. So it's also really interesting is that in 1922, the first Girl Scout cookie recipe came out. And that was used for over a decade. And this recipe was published in the Girl Scout magazine, American Girl magazine, pardon me, that the Girl Scouts published. And it was from a director in Philadelphia. And she sent out this simple sugar recipe, and it was used for over a decade. And basically, it was all things in your kitchen that you can find today. It was very simple. It was sugar, it was flour, baking powder, and it was milk and butter. And it was all things that that were found in your kitchen. And that recipe was used for, again, for a decade. And what was happening is that girls were wrapping these cookies, they were baking these cookies, they were wrapping them in cellophane, putting a sticker on it, and selling these door to door. In 1917, the first troop in Muskogee, Oklahoma, they were selling cookies out of their school cafeteria. And the goal was to do fun things with their troop. So they wanted to do activities. What's also really fun is that another fun fact for cookies is that in 1951, there were 3 variety of cookies available once Girl Scouts went to a commercial baker. The 3 varieties were shortbread, sandwiches, and chocolate mints, which were another name for Thin Mints. So just think of that. We have 8 varieties plus a gluten-free now, and in 1951, there was only 3 varieties. So we've definitely evolved a lot since then. Another fun fact that I'll leave you with is that Girl Scouts has 3 of the top selling cookies nationwide. So there's 8 cookies that are the top sellers nationwide, and 3 of those are Girl Scout cookies. So I'll give you a minute to think. Think about when you go to the grocery store, what are those top name brand, nationwide brand cookies that you see on the shelves that you think are the top sellers? So I'll give you like 2 seconds to think about that. All right, so the top selling cookies in the store, number 1 is Oreo. That's a nationwide brand. The next top selling cookie nationwide is the Thin Mints. So that is the number 1 selling cookie for Girl Scouts, and it's the second top selling cookie throughout the nation, which is incredible if you think about it. You know, Oreos are sold year round in every grocery store. Thin Mints are sold, 3 to 4 months out of the year, and you can only get them at a certain time. And that is the second highest profiting cookie nationwide, which is incredible. So we have a really, really powerful brand. We have a really delicious cookie. And behind that brand and behind that cookie are girls doing really amazing things, doing things with their troop. And not only that, but they're learning things, right? You're learning how to goal set and how to manage money. So there's a lot of power that comes behind that Thin Mint cookie and that box of cookies that are on that shelf. So thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed making your swap, and we will share out all of the materials that you need for this, and a little bit of extra reading material if you want to know a little bit more about the Girl Scout history of cookies. All right, take care. Bye-bye.